I'm feeling grateful this morning. And then I have to realize that this gratefulness will only last for so long, as everything does. My joys are transient. My pains are transient. I can't complain. But even when I say I can't complain, even when I mean that I can't complain, you bet your sweet bippy that I complain. I think that's probably why in this particular societal scenario, I'm so addicted to growth, because it's sort of like how people rush to the finish line of riches because there's such an opportunity for it. I feel like there's such an opportunity for all kinds of growth. Like the fact that after work I can spend time dedicated to healing my mind and healing my body. The fact that for a long time I had the opportunity to live like a hermit and meditate and self-explore and write and think. I've had a good life, man. I've really had such a good fucking life. I really, really have. I really can't complain. And I really don't feel inclined to complain. It's just sometimes, we all know the deal. It's the anguish, the stress, the tension overpowers your best intentions. Yeah. It's powerful. I'm reminded of that. I try to sink my feet into the moment when that occurs, when my stress is getting the best of me, when just any kind of internal negativity is getting the best of me. I try to remember this is what it's like for everybody. And not only that, but Marcus, do not forget that everybody is not trying to see this. They're not trying to rebound, to get out of the tailspin. Many of us are double downing, especially now, because we see you could be in the highest position of the land with that kind of attitude. Who cares? Who gives a damn? All that matters, the bottom line. As long as you have this or you have that, you could be as big of an asshole as you want to be. You can exercise all the negativity you want to be, indulge all the negativity. And why negativity? Why is negativity such a bad thing, other than the fact that we all say it is? It's because it truly obstructs functionality. It gets in the way of harmony, of goodness. And intrinsic in goodness is a flourishing, it's a thriving. It's an atmosphere that allows one to grow. Now, people do grow. People can grow in the worst scenarios, under the harshest of stresses. And in fact, they would argue that it made them a better person. Bless them, I say. That's what's up. They are great. But can we be honest that, first of all, we need to be honest that a lot of people do make it out of those kind of situations. A lot of people are still even living in those situations. Maybe even they thrive, but many of them aren't pursuing a more wholesome life. They're just pursuing the success in the midst of it. But okay, now my mind is multiple thoughts are occurring simultaneously here. Let me just take a breather. I would argue that the end goal for people, whether or not they're good or bad, again, even if they're good, the end goal is not necessarily let's have harmony, because that's going to bring out the best in us all. I think everyone's on autopilot. I don't think there are any objectives, really. There are material objectives. There's definitely material objectives. There's social objectives. I gotta get a husband. I gotta get a wife. I gotta attain this status. I'm being convinced more and more that everything we do, we're really doing for love. Now, I don't mean romantic love. Just love, meaning an appreciation, a recognition that feels genuine, an attention towards us that stems from someone evaluating us very positively, appraising us to have a significant worth. We do it for that. But you can get those things just by being a person who's considerate, who's interested in multiple things, who self-explores, and not just self-explores, but has an interest in the other. That's one thing that people forget, actually. Some people have one or the other. They don't have both. They either are very interested in the things they're interested in, and thus that's all that matters to them, and there's a bit of a verbal diarrhea when you speak to them. Their dialogue is masturbatory. Then there's the others who they're interested in everything outside themselves. Bless them. And they'll listen to you. And they won't tell you much about themselves, but they'll hear you out, and they'll want to know more about you. Even though, obviously, I'm sure they would love to speak about themselves. Perhaps they just have been conditioned at this point to not speak about themselves. But to have both, to be truly interested in somebody else, actually, that is missing from a lot of people. A genuine interest in someone other than themselves. And I'm guilty of doing that in certain cases as well. I am guilty of that, but I will say that fortunately, I am genuinely interested in people. More than anything, I think I'm interested in their problems. I'm interested in what's eating Gilbert Grape. Because the growth, I guess it all has to do with the growth of it all. What fight are they fighting? And not stopping there, but curious as to what they're doing to get through it. And the curiosity is it working for them or is it not working? Curious. No one's living underneath your skin. No one's living underneath my skin. Why not do as much as you can for the body, for the mind, that you have ownership of, that you are a passenger in, so to speak, because, they say that's an illusion. You are not this little being riding around in a greater being. You are what you are in the moment that you are. But growth. I was talking to somebody at work, and I got excited talking with them, young lady. She feels the stress of the world. The walls closing in on her. She has regrets. She feels as though she's not where she'd like to be. Understandable across the board. But what's exciting, though, is that she hasn't yet done any of the things that one can do to become more awesome. And the reason why that's truly exciting to me is because I'm just so curious as to who everybody can become if they do certain things, if they harness the 4 pillars, if they pursue the 4 pillars of happiness. The adequate sleep, the adequate nourishment, adequate physical activity, and healthy conversations. You thought I can go one recording without mentioning the 4 pillars of happiness? Well, you were wrong. I don't even think about the 4 pillars of happiness, as I call them, on a daily or even weekly basis. I don't think about it in those terms anyway. It's just a way of explaining it, but I do strive to get my sleep and nourishment, physical activity, healthy comment. I strive. But I get excited because the potential. I just wonder. Leveling up is such an interesting thing. It's fascinating who we can become conditionally. And we have the resources, the opportunity. In this first world spoiled ass society, we have the opportunity to do so. Why not? And a lot of people, and I swear I'm talking about no one specific. I'm just saying just so many people, they'll look at, I talk to them and they think that I want to emphasize, this is so many people that I've talked to. They think that lucky you that you get to put all this time into yourself. I'm like, hey, these same people that I'm like, y'all the ones who made y'all choices to have multiple children, to have all of the obligations that you have. You chose these obligations because you thought that this was for you. And so it's not as if these responsibilities just fell into your lap. You acquired them on purpose. And I consciously avoided them. I have the basic responsibilities. And I still have social obligations. But I purposely have avoided certain ones because I knew that I wouldn't be my happiest. I wouldn't be my best me, at least in that moment, were I to pursue them. Especially getting into certain relationships that just really don't need to be gotten into. And I don't say that from a high horse. I'm just saying. It's odd to me that some people act as if they didn't choose the lives they've chosen. And there's a lot of things out of our control, 100%. I'm not saying that everything in your life is there because you wanted it to be there. But I am saying a lot of it is. Like I have made certain decisions that have had consequences, but I I'll slap myself silly to make sure I'm sober enough. I'm alert enough, aware enough to acknowledge, hey, you made those fucking decisions though. You made them consciously. But I understand too, a lot of people don't make their decisions with the utmost clarity either, considering all of the possible consequences, whether or not they'd regret it or not. That played a huge role in a lot of my decisions. Would I regret it? And I'm so glad I've done that, because I know there's so many things that I've done that are risky, and I'm glad I did them, because I would have regretted having not done them. Growth, growth, growth. It brings on that feeling of life, that newness. I find that when I do all the things I can to grow, especially remaining physically active, even when I come home now, I can talk about this now. You know, CBD was legalized in the state of Texas, and I make some CBD oil. I make my own CBD oil. It's nice. It does not make you high. It just sort of, to be honest, it's like a painkiller. Really, I don't feel soreness when I ingest it, and it's not without its side effects. But it's pretty legit, and it helps me get in the zone where I do my stretching, I do my yoga, I do light exercise. It's so super duper helpful keeping the body physically active, man. Even at a small intensity, low intensity. And then I've been eating. You got to eat a lot when you rev up your body. Eat more, but get your nutrients in. But the point of all that is that what I'm saying is life returns. It's this feeling of newness, these transitions, this feeling like I'm going somewhere. I'm building upon something. And I am. A strength is being had. I'm reading more again. Because I'll open this book called The Subtlety of Emotions by Aaron Ben-Zeev or something. I just downloaded this book. I got it on my phone, my computer. It's like 600 pages. I'm not reading it from start to finish. I'm not treating it as if it's this novel I need to get through. And I love the way it's written, because it's so, like, you could start at any point in that book, and it's so logical that I feel like a lot of logic, a written logic, is good for the brain. It's good to get your reason muscles going. Practical Ethics by Peter Singer is another book that's like that. And history books are like that, I think. Some of them, anyway. I know some of them are more passionate. Maybe have a subjective spin on it. But I guess they all do, to some degree. But reading definitely exercises the brain. No doubt. Writing exercises the brain. I like to feel sharpened, right? I feel like, oh yeah, that's another thing. It's helped my anxiety a lot too, sharpening myself to that way. This a while ago. Wait 1 second. Hold on. This a while ago, when I used to come from work, I would just go dead brain, zombified. But now I try to keep it going. Keep the momentum going. Keep the burn off the remaining energy that I have, and I'm approaching it more methodically. I guess I just know what to do more. This is not interesting though, me talking about this, because I'm being so non-specific and ambiguous about it. Because it's just so much to say, but I don't know I don't know. Ah, but yeah, the growth of it all, the life of it all, the transience of it all. Oh, this one quote, and maybe I'll end it right here. This one quote from that book too. That's what I love about popping open a good book is that even if you get one line, oh, that's also my point, is that I just scroll through. What's dope about having an ebook, and really this is a book that's on a PDF, it's like a PDF kind of thing, an e-reader Prestigio for the Android. I don't know if it's on Apple. I don't even know how Apple phones work. I don't even know what apps are available. I don't even know how that goes, all right? I guess it's just the Kindle, but e-reader Prestigio, it's a really good app. I have so many books on there, and it works legit. And it's free. And but I just scroll. I'll jump to page 50, then I'll jump to page 500. Like whenever if ADD kicks in, I'm getting my reading in. I'm gonna read something because I'm not reading it to get through it. I'm not reading it even for the best kind of comprehension. I'm reading it to just exercise my ability to read. And I think that in and of itself is helpful. And it's sort of I'm sort of going with my better than nothing principle there. I rather read and read random lines of a book than not read at all, if that is what it takes. And obviously, you know, where you could do to continue that practice, you're not gonna just that's not gonna be the only way you read. It's a warm up. It's baby steps because I used to read all the time, and then obviously you get out that habit, and then your brain's like, screw this, and so you have to find ways to get back on that trail road. Dang, what was I about to say though? Oh, I had something good for y'all, and I forgot it when I was talking about the or is that what I wanted to say? Hey, look, it's early. It's so early for moi. Uh, oh yeah, there's a quote in that book, The Subtlety of Emotions. He has quotes all over. It's like all throughout it, right? And there's this one quote that has recently been the magic words for my mind. There's always magic words here and there, and these words lose their potency. Like every now and then, well, what has been one line? It's all temporary, perhaps. Sometimes they just say, "I love you." Look for Marcus. These are sort of meditative things that are vague, because that's more meditative sort of stuff. But one line in there that really has hit me and that's helped center me is there's this quote and it's from an unknown person. It said, and excuse me if I butcher it, but it said something along the lines of, no matter how high your highs are or how low your lows are, there are approximately 1 billion Chinese people that couldn't care less. Do you hear me? No matter how much no matter how much pain you have in your life, no matter how much awesomeness, there are approximately 1 billion Chinese people that could not care less. And so, for what that does for me, I don't know what it does for your mind, but so that's true even right now. Because even, there's 360 million people that can care less about you in this country. But just imagining their lives being so separate, being so unique to them, their world being their world, and them not knowing me, never will know me. Obviously the internet and whatnot. But I'm saying, let's just, for all intents and purposes, like for the average person, they're not going to know you, and nor do they care about you, nor do they are interested in your culture, nor are we interested in them, nor do we want to know them. I'm speaking very generically, but you know what I'm saying. The point to me, and what makes me at ease me is like, you're not the center of the fucking universe. It makes me step outside of myself. You're not the fucking center of the universe. And people don't care about you the way it seems. It's not that serious. Live your life. relax, because everyone's going to live their damn life. So if you have the opportunity to just let it go, man. Get your Frozen on. Get your fucking Frozen on. Okay, well, love you. That's all I got.